Hey everybody, it's me, DeoGenZ, welcoming you to another edition of Free Battle Fridays. Continuing from last week's theme, I'm going to showcase some of my more bulkier team members to showcase how walls really make a difference in a team. I was mentioning last week I got into metagame based on the idea of boosting my power levels. The thought of having something that could just sweep effortlessly through the Elite Four, through battle towers, through really any challenge that came my way was super appealing. But then I found how walls could also be slow satisfaction, and that patience really delivers a big payoff. So that's why you have to be careful with your walls and make sure you have a way to regenerate the power levels. It's actually their HP levels, really, Vegeta, and your Scouter. But see, with Wish, that's a very useful ability to have on a wall-type team. It's good to have a kind of cleric on your team that not only heals itself but heals other teammates, and Wish is a good sort of move to do that. It does its magic in one turn, so keep that in mind. And also having Volt Switch on my side keeps fluidity in the game. Although that wasn't really the thing I wanted to fluidly switch into, but it did the job. So if I really need to, which yeah, going against the Blaziken I do, I could use a Wish on it. However, it's nice I don't have to worry about any misses. I don't have to worry about Blaziken unleashing any overheat. I was really hoping somehow he would miss again, but a big chump? Yeah, he's a big chump for going at my levitating Rotom there with his high jump kick and missing. And boom, since he revealed to me that that is his favorite move, a Protect will finish him off. So whenever you get into an opponent using repetitive moves and you can predict them pretty well, you can do things like this and yeah, completely block their attacks so that it's no big deal to you. And oh, you're going to try and Will-O-Wisp me. Well, have a fun time doing that on a fire type. So if you're not really good at prediction, this is a fun way to start making some predictions, is if your opponent does repetitive attacks. If they keep trying to ram their head against a wall with the same tactic, you can be sure to stop them in that way. Now moving on, we have one of my favorite status alterers. It's Togekiss. Another thing that I starkly overlooked when I first played through Pokemon were things like Poison Spikes, which why would you on a Greninja put Poison Spikes? I mean, in that time that you Poison Spikes me, you could have used Ice Beam, and oh, now you do it? Well, too little too late, friend, too little too late, because you've been disabled by paralysis. What I didn't realize as a kid, which I do realize now as an adult Pokemon master, someone who uses status altering in metagame quite often, is that paralysis, aside from randomly stopping your opponent for one turn, also bars their speed. So it makes whatever Pokemon is not paralyzed in the room the fastest thing. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to pure power of a Blaziken like that, I wasn't able to stop with my current trio that situation. But alright, good on him for poisoning my Vaporeon. But I do have Wish, and I do have a way to re-heal all my stuff, so it's not really a big issue. And if you're going to have a working wall, whether it's physical or special, you gotta have a way to re-heal it. You can't rely on just leftovers, because only one member of your team is able to use that. So if you're going to have multiple walls, unfortunately my Vaporeon there wasn't able to cut it because it's more of a special wall. That's the only thing you gotta realize, is that not every Pokemon's going to wall every type of move. So just like you have offensive and special sweepers, you're going to have offensive and defensive, or let me rephrase that. You're going to have specially defensive and normally defensive players too. So you got to have team balance. And when all shit hits the fan, you're going to need to have a sweeper like Gyarados that can do this. Just pretty much cinch up any loose ends. But that is how I like to play with Togekiss. So let me showcase some other Pokemon here. Boy, I just love that word showcase. It's just my word for the day. Other walls here, like Rotom, the oven type. You often will see many metagame players utilizing the wash form of Rotom, but I like to think that the flame easy bake oven Rotom still has some sort of utility to it, just in that, like you saw in previous matches, it's able to resist any Will-O-Wisp and also dole out its own, which I think is quite nice. But, you know, there wasn't really anything I could do. I guess I could have switched, but, you know, made some bad choices just trying to defeat this Chandelure. And thankfully, Chandelure is a special glass cannon. You know, it's a special attacking sweeper, and, you know, it's not too hefty when it comes to defense or special defense itself. So, you know, kind of an eye for an eye there with that one, but Rotom's still in the game, and as long as Rotom's around, I am without a frown. Because I can use Volt Switch to nullify the effects of that overheat. Jeez. Mega Beedrill. Haven't fought one of these in a while. And smart play on him. He's trying to see if he can predict what I'm going to do, but unless he's going to switch to some fire type, I'm going to try and nullify his attack. So another nice secondary effect of burn status that you may not have known, like I didn't in the past, is that it reduces your foe's attack stat. So physical attack is nullified by burn, as well as you get that nice effect that every turn your opponent loses a little bit of HP, and boom, I'm poisoned. So you guys know what that one does. I don't need to explain it to you, but I'm gonna Volt Switch, and so he can land on my trap. Add insult to injury, he can't even defeat my Rotom, and he is burned out of the game. So that's how devious status ailments can be. Now this trio here is getting back to my roots, getting back to the a little bit more pure power elements, but we still have Togekiss along for the ride to see how we can mix up walls with sweepers. The other fun thing to do with teams is, you know, like I said, you want to have balance, so you don't want to just have all walls, you don't want to just have all sweepers. If you have all glass cannons, you'll be defeated pretty easily if you come against an opponent that's super effective against that set of types. But by having this sort of cleric, having this status affecting Pokemon on my team along with the other sweepers, it's actually going to hopefully help me in the long run. Now, Togekiss didn't stay around as long as I would have wanted, but I am going against pretty pure power with a Mega Charizard Y in front of me. But by having Tyranitar on the field and having that Charizard paralyzed, keep in mind, that'll be a status ailment that will stay on it when it comes back into the match. You know, forcing it out with that Sandstorm was a good play. And obviously I was going to drop rocks. Yeah, and nice try, but I've got... You know, looking at this Tyranitar, I think that it is specially defensive. I said in the last video it's specially defensive and specially offensive maxed, but I think it is a mixed sweeper with bulk to it, if that makes any sense. So it has bulk. It is one of the kinds of Pokemon that can run through your opponent's team, but your opponent can't necessarily take it down as easily. And just goes to show, he has a Tyranitar of his own, and yeah, boom. It's pretty bulky, you can see. So you can run Tyranitar sets in a lot of different ways. When I tried to run this as a live stream, I had questions on, you know, what was the EV arrangement of my Tyranitar, and I was not really sure, honestly still not sure to this day, just because I've got so many different Tyranitars, and it's hard looking at this footage sometimes to know which one was which. but seeing that it has Rock Slide and the other special attacking moves like Ice Beam and Dark Pulse to it makes me think it's a mixed attacker with some special bulk to it, similar to how my opponent has their Tyranitar. But unfortunately theirs was not bulky enough to beat me. Well, not unfortunate for me. So, for our last and final battle, we will go against a bunch of Ubers. So, leading out, this Togekiss has been my MVP for this set of battles here. And it's fun to see how, back in the day, just for my own personal growth and development as a Pokemon trainer, I literally never would use status ailments. I'm like, why would you take up a move slot with something that's not gonna cause damage? That seems like useless. But this Kyurem, it would have been using Fusion Flare on me first for this whole match, but since I paralyzed it early, I nullified its speed, so Togekiss, although not the fastest thing in the world, becomes the fastest, same thing with this Hoopa, and then combined with a King's Rock on it, which you'll see that Magician ability took it away from me, but no worries, I still have Roost on this Togekiss. It's got many tricks up its sleeves. But King's Rock combined with Air Slash and Paralysis is a powerful and tried and true combination that's been working again since like 4th gen, I believe. Like, Togekiss is a strong player and just has been getting stronger and stronger. I think it's still very viable in the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire field. I wonder how it will fare when it comes to Sun and Moon. But this should give you some ideas of how you might want to raise your future metagame team and how you might take on me. Make sure you leave your friend code for the 3DS in the comments section below, because I'm looking to battle people for Sun and Moon for future videos. I'm just working on a new way that I can record better quality footage so that the the DS border will actually be more true to the footage in the center. But we'll get to that in future videos. First, I gotta kick this guy's ass with my Sableye. Was kinda hoping he would have gone for a Psychic there, but oh well. It doesn't really matter in the end because he's paralyzed. And that is the power of status ailments. Oh look, he's paralyzed too, so it doesn't even matter that my Sableye is slow, because I can recover and then attack him with ease. So leave in the comment section also below, besides your friend code, what is your favorite status ailment? I think for me it would have to be Poison, because it's like a ticking time bomb that counts down on your opponent, but there's so many good ones to choose from.